Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Kathy Banegas and I am the creator and founder of the Healing Gem. I'm super excited to be on today at a special time, on a special day with a very special guest. So I'm just gonna wait for her and I'm gonna breathe a little bit because I'm so excited. I've been excited forever. Hi. So our special guest today, and I will introduce her a bit before she comes on. Hi. Our special guest is Hibiscus Moon, and I have been her fan for a long time, even before I started my own business. So I'm just super excited that she gave me the opportunity to be on with me today. And I'll be able to ask her some questions and just learn from her. So I'm super excited. Oh, thank you, Tina. Oh, thank you, Steffi. Okay, let me get her. I'm so excited. Let's see here. Oh, I don't have a request from you, Hibiscus Moon. So if you scroll all the way up to when you first came in the live, there should be like a little oval thing, like a button that says request to be on or something like that. So if you could just press on that so I can accept your request. Thank you. Hi, amiga. I know it's a special time today, so hi, Angel. Let's see. I still don't have let me see. Am I able to press on people? Oh yeah, okay. It says go live with Hibiscus Moon. So something should have popped up for you, and I think you can just accept it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hey!
I got an invite from you, so I'm here.
Hi. Okay, hang on. Let me put my volume up. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm putting my volume up too. Okay, yes.
Hello. Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
I know. I'm so excited. So thank you for coming on with me. I'm like so excited. I've been excited for weeks. I couldn't believe that you were like okay with coming on. So, I've been a big fan of you for a long time. I know for anybody that's like a crystal lover, collector, you type in crystals on Google, you're like all over the place. So I've always followed you from the beginning, and like I follow your page and I see all these amazing things you do. I just wanted to see if you could like maybe introduce yourself a little bit, and then I'll go, ooh, I like that purple hair.
Oh, I don't know what's happening here. Sorry.
It's okay. If you could just introduce yourself, like your name, and then I guess I'll start
Uh-oh.
asking you the
You cut out,
questions
Kathy.
because I have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay. So it sounds good now. So as far as who I am, I think I'm a crystal nerd that just fell into this by accident. I really like the science. I was a science teacher. I was really interested in crystals, and then I just started putting the two together. I found a community on YouTube many years ago, and it just all started from there.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to ask you first was about you were a science teacher before. So I know that you bring a lot of science, like real science into because a lot of us that are crystal collectors, we love the metaphysical part of crystals and their healing power. So I wanted to ask you like how you went from being like a science teacher to doing this, like how that happened.
Well, it's not like I abandoned, my science or anything like that, and I now don't see them as two different things at all. But I always loved crystals since I was a little child, and I was always questioning everything and into science. I didn't realize how much the two worlds had in common though until like early 2000s. I was always interested in questioning everything, and my Catholic school nuns didn't love that so much, but
Yeah.
I was like, well, but I don't get it. The universe, what was here before that? And they were
Right.
just, I was just entranced by anything having to do with just questioning things and curiosity. And the crystals just kind of fell into that. I even created a class while I was a teacher to have an excuse to do kind of both on the sneak. They were asking for someone to create an elective for the advanced students. And I was like, oh, how about geoscience? You know, because I could take geology, crystals, minerals, and science, roll it all up into one and teach it in a public school system. So they went for it, and I was in my element.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really cool. And I know that there was like a time that you were ahead of a science department, right?
Yeah,
And
at the same
then,
time.
oh, wow. So did you start your crystal school or academy like with the metaphysical portion of things while you were doing that job as well?
I did. And that wasn't the part of the plan. Like, I loved my job. I loved being science department chair. I loved teaching the kids. But at the same time, I was being pulled to the crystals, and I was doing like one-off classes in person. I was doing healings in person. It was like more of a hobby, but I was also exploring and researching a lot at the same time and finding this whole online community. Thank God for the internet. This was back in like 2007, 2009,
Oh,
around
wow.
there. And then I remember it was like 2010 when 2009 when I started Hibiscus Moon. I was selling crystals on Etsy, and then I started a little blog and YouTube channel, and I wrote a book, and I did that all while I was still science department chair.
Oh,
So
wow.
I did my videos and everything without ever showing my face. It was just my hands and crystals.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Did you get into any trouble?
You know, in real life, you know, with the people I work with, they knew exactly what I was up to. My principal knew what I was up to. You know, and when stuff hit the fan with people, you know, last resort, they always come to us for crystal advice, right? I'm sure you experienced the same thing, Kathy. So everybody at my school, not the students, not their parents, but my colleagues knew what I did. And when everything else didn't work, they'd say, you know, what crystal should I work with for this or that? And my principal was actually going through, I'm not going to share, something pretty intense. And, you know, we worked with crystals for that. So it was just a matter of, I don't know how much the parents would have appreciated one of the biggest school districts in the nation having a science department chair that was also into crystal healing. I probably could have gotten away with it, but I just didn't feel like fighting that battle. I'm not into confrontation. And when it got so busy, Hibiscus Moon side of things, and then the academy grew, I had to make a decision because I couldn't do both at the same time. You know, something was going to suffer. So I figured I'd given almost 15 years of my life to doing the science thing. Let's try the metaphysical academy. It's still science, though. I still very much see it as teaching science. So yeah, it was kind of like the universe just kept opening these doors, and my intuition kept leading me to walk through.
Oh, yeah, that's so great because I feel like like all the years of your education and the years that you gave to teaching, just the science portion of it was really just kind of leading you into doing the metaphysical portion of things. And maybe so many more people needed you in that area. And we do need you in this area, you know, because I think you've helped so many people with the metaphysical portion of crystals. So I'm glad you did that.
Thank you
Right?
so much, Kathy.
You always feel like I made the right choice. Like I much happier here than maybe before, or you just like you love both?
Just as happy. I'm always like, if I'm not having fun doing something, it's time to change the playlist and do something else.
Oh, I love that. And you have a lot of your followers and students here, by the way, in the comments. I see them.
Hi guys,
so
I see you.
you have a big group of supporters that are here. And so which one was your first book? Because I know you mentioned that you wrote a book while you were teaching and doing this at the same time. So what is your first book that you wrote?
Well, my one and only book is...
okay. I thought maybe you had more because you said you wrote the book.
No, I only have one book. It's Crystal Grids, How and Why They Work. It was the first book, is the first book ever written on the topic of crystal grids, because that's kind of like the thing that got me really in the YouTube community. Is I was exploring and researching crystal grids, working with them for manifestation, and just blown away at how easy I was able to manifest with crystal grids. So I was just hungry, looking for more and more information and a
Mm.
community there. And a lot of the followers that might be here now are OGs from that community, you know, and like I
Yeah.
was following them, I still am, they are following me. So it was just like a big group of us.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. So it was the crystal grids, and I don't want to go off of the questions too much, but I love crystal grids, and I think it's maybe, well, if there's people that are really looking for information on crystal grids, I really recommend that you look up Hibiscus Moon's book because it's a very popular book, and I love grids, and it is actually something I just recently started teaching about, but I'm not like a super expert on it. So I definitely want to look into like what you teach on it. But what is the main thing you feel people need to know about crystal grids? Because I feel like that is maybe a very not confusing, but maybe overwhelming topic for some people because for one, there's so many crystals out there, so many different metaphysical properties to remember for each one. Do you think that grids is like, or what do you think about that? Because you just made a face like, and that is something that's been coming up a lot on my page about the properties of each crystal and who comes up with that, who came up with it to begin with. A lot of people get in my face about it, like who even made this up. I personally am all about, just really going with what feels right, what calls to you, what resonates with you. So, would you say, I know that was like 5 questions in one question, but like, what do you think with grids? Like, what is something that you can tell people about that if they want to learn crystal grids? Like, is it overwhelming? Is it something simple? Like what is basically like how does that work?
I think I answered all your questions with my facial expressions. So
Yeah, you're really good. Because as I was saying that, you were answering with your face. You're right.
well, I'm just kidding. So let's see. Crystal grids, I feel is if you're someone who's into like manifestation, visualization, I feel like a crystal grid. You know how people really, it was very popular, it still is, but I don't hear about it as much anymore. The vision boards. People would create vision boards, right?
Yeah.
Like a two-dimensional, cut things out of magazines and stuff. Well, of what you're looking to manifest, your goals, your dreams. Well, crystal grid, I feel, is like a three-dimensional sacred geometric connection, or it's very much like a vision board, but using sacred geometry to communicate that to source energy, to the universe. So I feel like because the universe communicates in a very specific language, which is sacred geometry, this is scientific, that if you communicate to source energy with that same language, it's a clearer communication of your dreams and goals. And it manifests more quickly, strongly. It's just everyone who has tapped into the energy of utilizing or working with crystal grids has noticed that, bam, things just, if you build it, they will come.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a vision board on a grid, right?
It's like a vision board, but on steroids and using the language of the universe rather than the language of humans.
I see. I love that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. So I hope that some of you that are not too familiar with grids, that really helped. And it's definitely something to look into for sure. Because grids are just amazing, but there's so much to learn, I feel, even with sacred geometry and the different shapes, so it's really great. Thank you.
I would tell people to do this. I mean, I know when I talk about sacred geometry, some of you are like, what in the heck? I have no idea. And what you said, Kathy, is very, very true. Go with your intuition. Do not worry about, okay, there's over 5,300 minerals and counting because we're finding more all the time. How in the world is anybody ever going to remember all the different correspondences or even attempting to memorize them? Like, forget that. No.
Yeah.
And a lot of the now I'm ready to jump all over the place because of some things you said were so like, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. I'll squirrel all over the place. But
Sorry, I do that a lot.
oh no, do not apologize. I love it. But so the thing about, you don't need to memorize anything. Go with your intuition, go with what your gut is telling you. And just to give people like a little bit of a guideline with their crystal grids, I do feel that instead of making a crystal grid with like all kinds of different crystals, that you pick 3 different types, no more than 3 different types. So maybe your heart is drawn to lepidolite, clear quartz, and green aventurine. For whatever reason, that's what you're drawn to for creating or working with your dream and goal that you want to manifest. So I would only use those 3 crystals. Now I don't just mean 3 crystals. I mean, like you can have a center stone, maybe that's green aventurine, and surround it with green aventurine tumblies, and then surround that even more with clear quartz laser points and some lepidolite. But I wouldn't work with more than 3 different types of crystal energies, because the reason for that is we notice that when we do that, it kind of muddies up the message instead of getting very, very clear with it. So you keep it clean and clear, and we don't introduce crystal chaos into what you're trying to communicate. So whittle it, just narrow it down to 3 different types of crystals, and that's a good guideline I would use for any crystal grid.
Okay, thank you. I love that. Yeah. Do you do any grids that are not on sacred geometry, patterns, or do you do?
Yes.
I'm just wondering because I do. Like sometimes I do if like what I'm asking for or what I'm trying to manifest has the energy or I feel will go good with the sacred geometry pattern, I'll use that. But sometimes because I'm like strained for, I don't have the pattern with me or the picture with me or the grid, the piece, whatever it is, I just have to set what I have with me. Do you ever do that as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I first started doing this, we all just made freeform grids, and there was no template underneath. I think I was the first person who came up with, let's use a template so we can make it very precise.
Yeah.
But we just used to just do it on top of an altar, a table, a dresser, whatever. Usually it would be like a circle or some kind of geometric pattern, but you really didn't see. And then I started getting the ideas of, oh, well, what about these flower of life designs and all these different sacred geometric designs? And if I printed them out on a, at the time it was a napkin on Zazzle, and I was like, and I'll call it a grid cloth. This was like back in 2009, and started selling those because then people could make it very precise, right? But you could just print out a piece of paper or just draw something, but it didn't always have to be sacred geometry. I think that was an idea. I'm sure there's other people who brought that into things. I was probably not the first, but that was an idea.
I was just going to ask you, do you think it was you? And now your
I think I popularized
are like spread.
I know I definitely did the grid templates. Nobody else had those before I did them. But now, my gosh, look at what they're doing, Kathy. They're beautiful things out there that I never could have dreamed of for crystal grids, but and the advanced sacred geometric patterns. But to answer your question, do I ever make a grid that is not using sacred geometry? And the answer is yes. Sometimes a spiral, and a spiral is not considered sacred geometry, but that's kind of an unwinding energy. So it's an energy to undo or do away with something. I have a student, I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her. Well, okay, I won't mention her because I didn't ask her permission, but she makes a grid for absolutely everything, every holiday, everything that's going on. We call her our fairy grid mother, and she uses every shape imaginable. If it's a shape that has something to do with, like, for instance, 4th of July, and it'll look like a flag, it'll look like an American flag, or they're not usually not sacred geometric shapes. She does them she's so creative, and they're very powerful. So you don't necessarily need to do that. Again, I always tell people, if your gut is really feeling strongly about doing something with a certain crystal in a certain way, there's a reason for that. Go with it. Go with what your intuition is telling you. Learn to trust it, because it's always right.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for saying that, because I live by that. I just love that. So thank you. Okay. let me ask you the second question so we won't go way off of my questions. Okay. So when, I guess we kind of answered this one, when you decided to start your own business. So you pretty much answered that. And then what are some of your most absolute favorite crystals? And I know this is hard probably to answer, but what would you say are some of your very favorite you can't live without?
Okay, so that is always a hard question, but I kind of feel like I always give the same answer. Everybody's going to be like rolling their eyes. Okay, so I have
That's
my
okay.
amethyst that I wear all the time. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wear this all the time. I've been wearing it for years and years now. It's like a personal piece that I enjoy working with. I have a very close bond with. As an overall crystal, just like I like these types of crystals, I am the self-proclaimed, I consider myself, I've proclaimed myself this, nobody else has, the Ahoite keeper. Okay, because every time I see a piece of Ahoite, and I'm going to show you some, I adopt it.
Okay.
So I grab it up. And so for those of you that don't know, first of all, it's spelled Ajoite, Ahoite. And
Okay.
it's clear quartz, but, or sometimes kind of milky, but do you see the little turquoise dot in there? Can you see that?
Yes, yes, I could
Okay,
see it.
right there. Yeah. So it's got this turquoise inclusion. Now, I'm not saying turquoise, the mineral.
Uh-huh.
It's actually kind of complicated what the chemistry is behind that, but these are just two pieces. So they're very expensive. I'm going to warn everybody because they come from the Messina mine in South Africa, and that mine has since closed years ago.
Mm.
Do not fall for the stuff that people are calling rough or raw Ahoite because it's all mottled looking and it just looks more like chrysocolla. If it
Mm.
doesn't look like a clear quartz point,
Yeah, it's
walk
not
on
real.
by. Goodbye. Walk away because they're doing that as a marketing ploy to try to make
Hmm.
people think that they have actual Ahoite. No one would ever call that Ahoite except people trying to sell off this
Yeah.
low quality rough. And so they're calling it rough Ahoite. No, that is not the way it works with rock hounds. This one, okay, can you see the blue in there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And it has a
Wow.
penetrator going through it.
Yeah.
um, it's just so amazing. There's a little bit of blue right here. There's like a blue angel right there. And
Wow.
I
I
know,
love
I
it.
know. This one is just amazing. And this one is one of my favorites to meditate with. So that's just two of my Ahoite collection, but it's a crystal that I love working with. It connects you to your higher self. It connects you to the angelic realms. If you're looking
Okay.
to kind of invite in a higher consciousness or a higher vibe in general, like all the time, work with
Hmm.
Ahoite if you can. Don't fall for Ahoite beads because if you had a
Yeah.
real piece of Ahoite, even if it was this little, go on eBay. You'll get a couple $100 for a little piece of Ahoite that big. You would never carve it into a bead, ever. Why would you ever do
Yeah.
that? You would never do that. So don't fall for that junk.
Okay.
I'm very
Now, I'm glad
passionate
you
about
said that
that.
because there's so many counterfeit fake crystals out there. It's so scary, and a lot of people unfortunately fall for it. I mean, I see crystals every day on here on Instagram and I'm like, that's not real. That's not an actual thing.
Yeah.
But
I
unfortunately
think
there's not a lot of information.
the other day someone posted red moldavite. I was like, what? What the
What?
what? There's no red moldavite. What the hell?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. The things I've seen with Moldavite, that's on a whole nother conversation. But yeah, Moldavite is one of those, there's a lot of fakes out there. But I love Ahoite. It's so beautiful. And I like that you have your own collection of it and, that you're like, that's your crystal. So I'm glad you shared those with us and brought them too, because it was like a show and tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had to share
So,
that with you guys. That's
thank
what's so
you.
fun about this medium.
Yeah, okay. And then I wanted to ask you, oh, okay, this is a really important question. So I've noticed this over the years about you. You take breaks from social media, right? So there'll be times I've seen through the years when you say, okay, I'm going to be off of social media from this time to this time. And I always think like, okay, that's really cool and amazing, right? I wish I could do that. And now you have mentioned to me that you are going to be taking a sabbatical, right? A pretty long sabbatical. And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about that and how that came about, why you do that, and maybe even inspire some of us to do that, because I think it really would help my mental health to be away from social media for a while. And I'm sure a lot of you that are here. So just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on that and how that began.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't remember the year I started it, but I've been doing it like, I don't know, 8 years or something, where I take a 2 month sabbatical.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to find the time in your business when it's slow. And I decided I'm just going to take off for the 2 months. No, not just social media, but everything. Just take off.
Okay.
I realized I needed to do that. The first year I only did it for 1 month. I was getting burnt out on just logistics, not on dealing with customers, but managerial type of things and little
Yeah.
details and stuff like that. And I was like, I need a break. And I realized the reason I felt like that is I was used to being a teacher. And what do teachers
Mm-hmm.
do every summer? They take a 2 month break. Most of them,
Yeah.
not everywhere, but most of them do. So I was used to that because it really gives you a time to unplug and refresh. And, people would think like, oh, teachers, they take a break for 2 months. So lucky. Well,
Mm-hmm.
after working, I work with middle school kids. You need that break, okay? You need
Yeah.
it for mental health. You need it for spiritual health, physical health, everything. But I would actually gratefully like plan all kinds of lesson plans and stuff without the distraction of having to be in the classroom. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't speak for other teachers, but I would use that time productively and creatively. So I felt like I needed to do the same thing with my business. So 8 or 9 years ago, whenever it was, I took that idea to Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy. First year I did it for a month. Following year I decided I'm doing a full-on 2 months. And I don't like step away from work completely. I just step away from everything online and anything, like even talking with my team or anything. And I
Mm-hmm.
come up with so many creative ideas and figure out what I want to do the next year. And then I come back and I'm all like refreshed and excited and new and like, okay, I'm ready to go. Here we go. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I'm all excited, and refreshed. So I implore anybody who has a business to find, because also okay, I'm Sicilian, and in
Mm-hmm.
Italy, all over, not just Sicily, in the month of August, they're getting
Mm-hmm.
away from doing this as much, but I really wish they wouldn't. Everybody shuts down. You get no business
Oh
done,
wow.
nothing. If you own a store, you shut the store. Everybody goes on vacation for a full month. Okay.
Wow.
Already they don't work super hard throughout the year, but they take a full month off and everybody like does it. So I
Yeah.
think we can kind of create that culture for ourselves, but you don't all have to do it like the month of August. Like pick when it's
Mm-hmm.
convenient for you to do it. So, that's a slow month anyway. And everybody loves it when you do it. And you're not going to lose anybody. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to be off social media for 2 months. You're going to lose your whole audience. Guess what? Never happened. I come
No.
back and it would be like gangbusters because I came
Yeah.
back, after being silent for a while. So
Right.
then the other part of your question is like, what am I doing this year? So that was my
Yeah.
the annual sabbatical. What I'm doing this year, I don't know what I want to call it because I got called to. I was unsure what I wanted to do, and I knew I needed to go in a different direction. So for a full year, I was thinking on it and meditating and trying to figure it out. And it really dawned on me that I needed to finish up and wrap up what we're doing with Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy. So I am holding my last term this fall. And
Okay.
I really am excited for it, actually, because I'm reinstating a graduation deadline, which is something we used to do and then got away from. And I
Uh-huh.
kicked and screamed. I did not want to get rid of that graduation deadline because I know, whether you guys like it or not, when there's a deadline, people get shit done. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they make it happen. So we have droves of people graduating right now because they know there's a graduation deadline of December 31st, the very last day of this year. So
Yeah.
this fall term, I am so looking forward to it because I'm going to pull out all the 9 yards. I'm throwing in all kinds of fun stuff, motivational stuff, extra support with the deadline. So I know I have a goal of, we have over 2,600 graduates around the planet that are certified crystal practitioners. I want 3,000 before we close it out, before we close the virtual doors. And I know it can happen because everybody gets so motivated. Deadlines, there's scientific research behind it. Deadlines work. You might not like it, but it makes you do the completion.
Yep. You have a student here that says, that's true, I've yet to finish. So, yeah, so I think it's going to work. I'm sure she'll be done by the end of the year.
They will, because they know they got to do it. And you don't want to throw away the opportunity, all that work that you put into it, all that time, that energy. Come on, like, let's get you that certificate, certified, and join the community of all the other people. I know having 3,000 people successfully graduated is going to ripple out across this planet like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It'll be so good for us all.
It's going to happen. There's another student here who says, I plan to get my ACM by 12/3.
Oh, ACM is 12/3. Okay, I always ask them what their target is.
12/31. I'm sorry, 12/31.
Oh, let's make it 12/3 just in case.
I know,
that's
right?
Our advanced,
that was a sign.
Yeah, that's our advanced certification. For those who've already got their regular certification, there's an advanced one they can do. So yeah, we got a lot of people graduating as ACMs too, Advanced Crystal Masters.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you going to be so you're going to be taking time off after that? Is there anything special you're doing? I mean, I don't know if I should ask that, but is there something fun you plan to do?
I really don't have an answer, because this is what I've decided. My rose quartz, I should have brought her. My rose quartz sphere, Jocelyn, she's like this big, helped me with this decision during that year of contemplation. That was 2021. That's what I was doing. I came into 2022 knowing exactly what I needed to do, and I made the announcement to the followers and everybody. So I'm just what's the saying? Head down, tail up, working my buns off this year. I'm doing everything, but I'm having a blast. But come December 31st, I'm deleting all my social media. We're closing the doors on the Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy, and I'm taking my devices and I'm throwing them in the lake.
Oh, okay.
Not really. I'm not going to pollute like that. If I do throw them in the lake, I'll go fish them out. But
they are waterproof, most likely.
I don't care. I hope they're ruined. So a year off completely is what I got. Nothing. No matter how much I want to teach something, I have to take off 1 full year. And then what happens? I'm going to go volunteer and do some different things. I'm pretty much going to retire. What happens after that? Now, I'm just saying this now. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, but I will not be certifying people anymore. Not that I don't love you all. I love you to bits and pieces, but my community knows why I'm doing this. I know this is, the end of an era. I've got to do this, get the 3,000 to graduate, and but I'm not sick of crystals. And I know myself, I love to teach. That's what I've done pretty much my whole life, is teach. So I will probably be back in some capacity related to crystals, but not certifying practitioners. So I don't know what that will be. I don't know what it will look like.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll come back to social media. Kind of hoping no, but it's necessary. I mean, I love you, Instagram. I'm here, but when you're in it as deep as we are, when you're in a business, you get what I'm talking about. And they kind of are always changing the game up on you, and they want you on all the time. And I'm like, hey, back off.
Yeah. Past few months have been definitely rough with social media. I don't know what it is, what shifted, but
it's always shifting.
Yeah.
Ever since I started, it's been shifting. It was Facebook, and now it shifts faster. So everybody's like, it's all about TikTok right now. I guarantee you a year from now, that TikTok's going to be old news, and it's going to be something else. And people get mad because they have to change gears and change how they're doing things, but you got to stay on your toes. It does keep you on your toes.
It does. But it's very hard to keep up. And I think it really plays on people's mental health for sure. the way that, younger generations are growing up. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with.
I
So,
think it's a really good, healthy thing, even if you can't take a sabbatical from your entire business, to at least take
hmm
a sabbatical from social media. Because
yeah.
the first few days, I noticed like the habit of, oh, I should create a story, or I should take a picture of that, or I should be.
hmm
For the first few days, I noticed that like um, the neurons in my brain disconnecting on that. Like I'm still in that habit mode of doing that, and then it starts to disconnect. And then after like a
Yes.
few days or a week goes by, I completely forget about it. And I can
hmm
actually like really live my life in the moment, in the present, enjoy things without holding up my phone to videotape it. Like just enjoy everything, be there in the
Yeah.
now. And then like when I come back to it 2 months later, I've completely forgotten how to do it, and it takes me a few weeks to get back into the mode. I think it's really good to just let your neurons take that rest.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna hope and manifest that that will happen for me, that I could take a break for
Just say
sure.
you are.
Because,
Just say you're going to do it, and then
yeah,
put the date in your
definitely.
calendar. Plan for it. Let everybody know, and do it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I love that. And I love what you said about staying in the present, like being able to live your life without your phone. That's such a big deal. Yesterday, I decided I was just not gonna record the fireworks, like I was just gonna enjoy it. My kids were excited. Let me just look at them and like record the memories in my own mind. And I think a lot of us have forgotten how to do that because you're attached to your phone. So I love the idea of taking a break. So thank you for being an inspiration with that, because I think that's really amazing. And
Absolutely.
I hope your year off will be, I'm sure it's going to be just amazing and great. And I'm sure there's going to be so many memories that or not memories, but ideas that are going to be coming into your mind. And whatever it is that you do after this is going to be probably like 100 times more amazing than what you've already done. So I'm
I don't,
sure.
well, I hope, but I don't know where it's going to lead me, but I'm excited for the adventure.
Yes. Maybe a new book. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. Well, we'll definitely be keeping up and waiting for you to come back at some
Aw.
point. I know in some
I
way. I
think
know you
people
don't.
are going to forget. People are going to forget about me, and that's okay.
No, they won't. They will
That's
never.
okay.
If you're in somebody's heart, I feel like you shouldn't ever leave their heart. So
Aw.
they'll always remember you. And I'm not even trying to be like, but I really believe that. I really feel like you've impacted so many people and have really taught them so much that, they can never forget you, of course. They're going to be waiting to see what's next. Obviously, it's probably not going to be. See, somebody agrees with me. It says, Angel says you're unforgettable and
Aw, love you,
legend.
Angel. I
And
know.
we will miss seeing you on social media. So we'll definitely be waiting for what will be next.
It'll
But,
be interesting to
no
see
pressure.
what's popular when I come back. If I come back, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But Kathy, I have to say, I love what you do so much because, people that are going to be looking for classes, you do fun, interesting topics. I like your topics so much. I'm always like, oh, I wish I could go to that one. I wish I could go to that one. So maybe I'll be like in the back of the room in your class and like
Oh.
hiding on my year off.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to do just like crafting. I love crafting, and I've added crystals into my crafts and stuff like that. So I try to do fun, things you could do for 2 hours and have a good weekend with it, and that's it.
Oh, I love
So
it.
it's so much fun. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Do I have any more questions for you? Okay, there's one more question for you, and that is, if you could leave all of us with a little bit of advice, what would that be? Or it was specifically for women entrepreneur and men, because I know we have some men here that are part of the healing world. So I'm just wondering if you could leave us with some advice from your own journey as a woman entrepreneur and healing teacher, what would it be?
Okay, I wrote it down. So I have it with me because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget any of these things. It's not
Okay.
like groundbreaking or anything, but it's important stuff to me. So
Yeah.
this is a song lyric that I heard recently, and this might be an old song, I don't know, but it just made it just made me so like, yes, yes, absolutely. So listen to this. If you have a dream, chase it, because dreams don't chase you back.
I love that.
So don't just sit on your laurels, make a crystal grid, and then, don't worry about it. Chase that freaking dream. You go after it, and you will manifest it. You will reach that goal. All right. And then, but I say have a safety net. So you might be chasing that dream. I'm a Capricorn. So I always say, don't jump without a safety net underneath you, and don't chase without a safety net. You can be chasing, but like, for instance, when I was a teacher, I didn't leave that job until I know I was making the same amount doing my crystal business. As soon as I was matching my salary, I was like, okay, now I can just jump over the fence, hop over there, and I won't feel a thing financially. That's because I'm a Capricorn. That's how I think.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to be like, just jump and fate will take care of you. Maybe not. So make sure you have a backup plan, a safety net, but chase that dream. Okay. And then I have be ultra passionate about it, or find something else. Like, don't get into crystals because it's trendy, or, oh, everybody loves crystals right now. If you don't love it and ooze passion, forget it, because no one's going to be interested. Nobody's going to care if they don't know that you care. Like, Kathy, everybody knows you're really into what you do and that you have a passion for it. That's why people follow you, because it's fun to follow you and to be in the environment and bathe in that passionate energy. If you're not passionate about it, find something else that you are passionate about. Because I see people coming in and they think, oh, crystals is the thing, I'm going to get into this. Ew, people are going to sense that icky energy right away, and they're going to leave. So, and have good solid boundaries that you're crystal clear on, and be consistent with them. People, if I can tell you one thing, you've got to have boundaries. You've got to honor your boundaries. Don't be afraid to enforce your boundaries. People love you more when you do that. They have respect for people who do that. So everyone knows I'm a boundary queen. And if I have a boundary, I stick to it like glue.
I love that. Yeah. And you're super grounded. I can sense that. Like, you're just grounded. That's probably why you said the safety net thing, because you're not like, just go for it. There's always those people that are like, just do it. The universe will get you. It has your back. It's true. But I love the safety net thing, and just
the universe does have your back if you're doing it in an intelligent way. That's what I think,
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I would like to invite everybody on, if they're new to me, to grab up a free e-kit that I have put together. Is that okay if I share that with them?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Do you want me to type it into the comments here on how they can do that?
Okay,
and we can pin it.
That'd be great. Okay, so it's an e-kit on creating sacred space with crystals. And it's free. You do subscribe to my newsletter. So the link is hibiscusmoongift.com. hibiscusmoongift.com. And in that, I have a private tour of my own sacred space, my current one, a meditation for creating sacred space with crystals, and a PDF with step-by-step instructions and everything you want to know.
Okay. Sorry, I made a space in between, but it's together.
It's all together.
If anybody wants to look that up. And you know what? I'll put it in the comments of this video, because we are saving it and posting it on my page. So I'll go ahead and put the information in the caption for it, so that everyone that watches the replay can also go look for it. But that is so amazing. Thank you for offering that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Somebody else put it on there. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's actually a misspelling, but hibiscusmoongift.com.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being on with us, and everything you said is amazing, and I wish you the best rest of the year, and that all 3,000 people will graduate by the end of the year, right? I'm sure they will. And that next year is amazing. Before we leave, somebody was wondering if you have your book around that you can show.
I don't have one nearby. It's like way back in my office, so I don't. Okay. I'm sorry, but if you go to Amazon, just type in crystal grids hibiscus moon, it'll pop right up, or in Google, it'll pop right up.
Okay, And I'll add it to the caption as well so everyone can look. But thank you so much for being on. I don't know if there was anything else that you wanted to say, but I just really appreciate you being on with me.
If any, I love this, Kathy. I have so much fun doing this. If you want to do it again, let me know. If
Yeah.
anybody has any questions that they needed answered, but no, there was nothing else that I needed to add. This was great. I'm honored that you asked me on too.
Thank you. No, yeah. So if you would love to do it again before the end of the year, this would be great. And we can even do like a Q&A maybe for everyone. And it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you. And yeah, we'll be in touch then.
I appreciate you too. Crystal blessings.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.